wrong, Dr. Brewster. I'm very proud of being a woman. Where am I? Oh.
I don't know what you're playing.
Well, I'm playing rage. I'm enraged.
It's hard to accept. Here it's so peaceful, idyllic. And right over there is the war. I feel almost guilty.
What knockers?
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
Oh, that's all right.
Look closely at this radiant face, a smile that once took the global screen by storm, but behind it lies a horrifying truth hidden for decades. The Hollywood system created a perfect icon only to silently witness the cruel reality destroy her. Before she closed her eyes, a final piece of documentary footage captured a moment that no one ever thought would exist. A trembling voice, an emaciated body, and last words aimed directly at the dark corners of the entertainment industry. What turned Teri Garr into a shattered soul in solitary darkness? Do not take your eyes off the screen, because what you are about to witness right after this will expose the true face of the ruthlessness behind the glamour.
No money. My father was an actor and my mother was a dancer, and my father drank alcohol, and that stopped him from working.
After officially announcing her retirement in 2011, Teri Garr completely vanished from public events, retreating into isolation at her private home in Los Angeles to silently battle continuous, agonizing spasms. The following years witnessed the terrible devastation of multiple sclerosis across the superstar's entire nervous system, turning a dynamic, radiant icon into a woman completely dependent on medical equipment. All eyes turned to Teri Garr once again in December 2019, when a fleet of ambulances suddenly appeared outside her private home, quickly rushing the actress to the hospital in critical condition, leaving the public shocked. Mainstream media immediately exposed information that she suffered from severe dehydration due to serious complications of her underlying illness. But the media wave quickly fabricated a series of malicious rumors about her being abandoned. The superstar's legal representative subsequently had to issue an official clarification to the media to squelch baseless speculations, affirming that she always received the best medical care from her relatives. Even so, the leaked images from this period psychologically prepared the audience for a haunting final dialogue, a precious piece of documentary footage capturing the most grueling days of a great star. In the released late-life interview footage, viewers could no longer recognize the articulate, energetic Teri Garr of the past, seeing instead an elderly woman in a wheelchair with a frail, emaciated body. Even so, even when facing imminent death, the instinct of a genius comedic artist rose powerfully, and she obstinately used dark humor to mock the very cruel disease that was destroying her. When the interviewer asked about her painful stumbles in public, the actress directly uttered bitter words, "We can laugh at tripping, because that way I don't have to explain anything more to them." This candid declaration was not merely an ordinary joke, but rather the ultimate defensive shield that helped her resiliently protect the dignity of a star against the pitying gazes of the world. Through her fragmented documentary-style reflections, Teri Garr exposed the ruthless nature of the Hollywood film industry, a place ready to mercilessly discard individuals who no longer hold commercial or physical value. Leaving behind a profound reflection on the cold-heartedness of show business, she emphasized, "Hollywood worships youth and perfection, but they forget that time is an enemy that spares no one, not even the gods." The documentary tape closed in a prolonged heavy silence, leaving infinite sorrow for the global public upon realizing that this was the final official farewell of a screen legend. Exactly 5 years after that severe illness, the inevitable came to pass. On October 29th, 2024, Teri Garr drew her last breath at her private home in the city of Los Angeles at the age of 79 due to complications from MS. Her passing occurred in an extremely peaceful environment surrounded by the embrace of her family and closest friends, officially concluding a journey of more than 40 years of artistic dedication filled with ups and downs. Teri Garr's passing closed a tempestuous chapter of life, leaving a painful void for the global public. But to understand the origin of that resilient will in her final dialogue, we are forced to turn back time to the previous century, where the first tragedy claimed the name of an 11-year-old girl in the midst of a completely broken family. The life-changing lie. Teri Garr was born in 1944 in Ohio into an artistic family, with her father being the comedian Eddie Garr and her mother the dancer Phyllis Lind. Her early childhood was always connected to the promising stage lights in distant America. But the first major tragedy suddenly struck young Teri's life in 1955, when her father passed away from a severe illness when she was just 11 years old. This sudden loss completely shattered their entire economic foundation. The passing of her father not only brought ultimate emotional pain, but also left a devastating financial sentence for the family. They quickly fell into complete bankruptcy, with mounting debts surrounding them everywhere. To sustain the lives of her young children day by day, Mrs. Phyllis Lind, once a proud former Rockette dancer, was forced to accept a job as a costume seamstress at NBC. This grueling work helped her feed the entire small family. Witnessing her mother exhausted next to scraps of fabric and overdue bills, young Teri early on became aware of the harshness of life. The desperate circumstances urged her to step onto the path of a professional dancer at a very young age. To seek a chance of survival in the fierce artistic environment of Los Angeles, the young girl Teri was forced to commit acts of resume fraud. She continuously falsified her resume to prove that she had sufficient work seniority. The actress filled in her own name into large, non-existent artistic projects for the purpose of passing the strict resume screening of talent agencies. This act of lying stemmed entirely from the ultimate fear of a poor, hungry child. Documentary records confirm that this recklessness helped her set foot in the Hollywood film industry in the early 1960s. But the reality behind the lens was a long chain of days enduring the humiliation of an anonymous background dancer. Press archival documents assert that Teri Garr appeared in a total of 6 musical films of the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. Among them, the most prominent was that famous work titled Viva Las Vegas, released in 1964. But her name absolutely did not appear in the closing credits of the film. This invisibility turned all the exhausting labor into an unacknowledged blank space before the entire global public of that past era. Throughout this grueling working period, background dancers like Teri were treated with extreme disdain by filmmakers. They were viewed as mobile living props, having to dance continuously for 12 hours on those hot days. Documentary memoirs record that those days of struggling to earn every single dollar to help her mother pay off old debts left a massive psychological scar. The studio system's exploitation of background extras was incredibly vicious. Recalling those bitter memories of that grueling background period, Teri Garr herself later candidly shared with the media, "We were just anonymous decorations." That statement exposed the backstage truth. But the darkness of those background years could not imprison a natural talent. When Teri Garr stepped into the light, she not only conquered the audience with her radiant smile, but also inadvertently pulled herself into one of the most controversial and dramatic relationships in American television history. The romantic deception behind the lens. Entering the early 1970s, Teri Garr's tireless perseverance in the entertainment industry began to reap its first sweet fruits as she continuously received invitations to participate in the most popular television series projects of that era. A brilliant historical milestone in her career appeared in 1974, the moment when genius director Mel Brooks decided to assign the role of Inga to the actress in the era-defining horror comedy film masterpiece titled The Illustrious Young Frankenstein. With an impressive look and the ability to fake a highly natural German accent, her sublime performance not only completely overshadowed many formidable male co-stars, but also directly redefined contemporary physical comedy acting. The work quickly achieved huge box office revenues, receiving enthusiastic praise from mainstream critics and officially bringing Teri Garr's name into the ranks of top A-list stars in Hollywood. Following that brilliant success, 1982 marked her greatest pinnacle of glory when she participated in the film project Tootsie, directly collaborating with veteran actor Dustin Hoffman in a bitingly satirical screenplay. Excellently transforming into the complex role of Sandy Lester, she successfully portrayed the unstable, wounded psychology of a woman struggling to find a genuine place in a theater industry that was already riddled with injustice. This outstanding role immediately brought Teri Garr an Oscar nomination in the category of Best Supporting Actress in 1983, a milestone proving her pinnacle acting ability to the public. Parallel to her brilliant glory on the big screen, Superstar also created a unique television phenomenon by becoming one of the most familiar guest faces on the nationwide famous show Late Night with David Letterman. Mainstream press records document that she appeared a total of more than 30 times on this hit television show throughout the years of the 1980s, turning every broadcast episode featuring her participation into a fiery confrontation. Amidst the context where American talk shows of that period always tightly controlled content, the live debates, along with a series of sharp, sarcastic banter between Teri and host David Letterman, continuously broke all conventional broadcasting standards. The viewing audience was always drawn into an extremely tense atmosphere upon witnessing the actress bluntly hit back, refusing to submit to tough or provocative questions from the formidable male host. This prolonged gunpowder-filled interaction immediately caused the tabloid media to explode with a series of false rumors, claiming that the two were maintaining a secret romantic relationship or nurturing an extreme mutual hatred. Even so, in-depth analyses from experts later pointed out that Teri's stubbornness and defiant attitude were the only defensive weapon helping her avoid being completely oppressed by powerful male hosts. Explaining her uncompromising resistance on live television, Teri Garr once candidly made a statement, "I realized the best way to deal with him was to attack back." That resilience inadvertently created a massive media effect, helping to save the show's severely declining viewership ratings, a truth that David Letterman himself was forced to publicly admit many years later. In a retrospective interview about this golden era, the veteran male host made a direct affirmation. "She was the best guest because she never let me win." The pinnacle of glamour lasting throughout the 1980s turned Teri Garr into a symbol of proud independence, a rare female artist who dared to stand up and challenge the patriarchal order that absolutely dominated major television stations. In the midst of her most brilliant glamour, when the whole world knelt at the feet of that talented woman, fate dealt a fatal blow. A horrifying secret began to gnaw away at her body, initiating a cruel purge from the very place she called the sanctuary of art. Hollywood's purge, sentence. In 1983, right in the midst of receiving a prestigious Oscar nomination for the illustrious film, Tootsie superstar Teri Garr's life suddenly took a dark turn when the first abnormal symptoms appeared and began destroying her body. During a routine jogging session in the bustling Central Park area of New York City, the film's superstar suddenly tripped repeatedly without cause, without any obstacles whatsoever under her feet. The worrying incident did not stop there, as her body began to endure intense prickling sensations running all along her skin, accompanied by sharp throbbing pains like knives stabbing directly into her right arm. Anxious about these signs of severe physical decline, Teri Garr immediately sought out leading medical facilities in the United States to undergo a series of highly complex, in-depth diagnostic tests. But this was the starting point for a long, 16-year journey full of dead ends and medical errors, as a series of renowned experts continuously put forward flawed conclusions. Initially, leading orthopedic specialists asserted that her chronic pain merely stemmed from mechanical injuries left behind by excessive dance training during her youth. Years later, as the spasming symptoms grew progressively worse, alternative diagnoses pointed towards cervical spinal nerve compression, forcing her to undergo countless futile physical therapy regimens. For nearly 2 decades living in ultimate confusion, the actress had to endure agonizing physical pain night after night while simultaneously facing a vague fear of a bleak future. It was not until late 1999, after performing the most modern magnetic resonance imaging technology of that era, that the medical community officially provided the final accurate answer regarding her true pathological condition. Documentary medical records noted that Teri Garr suffered from multiple sclerosis, an extremely dangerous, incurable autoimmune disease that directly destroys the protective sheath of the central nervous system and cannot be completely cured. Faced with this shocking news, the movie star's first reaction was not to seek medical treatment, but to find every possible means to hide this secret from all Hollywood studio bosses. She was forced to silently endure muscle spasms and loss of balance for 3 grueling years on fierce film sets, trying to smile before the lens to protect her employment opportunities. Her endurance reached its limit in 2002 when Teri Garr decided to appear live on CNN's television program, Larry King Live, to make public the entire truth about her cruel, incurable disease. Explaining this brave but also highly risky decision before millions of television viewers nationwide, the actress candidly confided directly, "I went public because I wanted to help people in the same situation." Immediately after the investigative documentary program was widely broadcast, a devastating chain reaction occurred instantly as all major film studios in Hollywood simultaneously turned their backs 180 degrees. All invitations to sign film contracts, participate in entertainment events, or commercial advertisements, large and small, which were once densely packed, suddenly vanished, completely plunging her pinnacle career into solitary darkness. This horrifying turn of events exposed an extremely bitter and ruthless truth of the American entertainment industry, a place that inherently only craves and worships perfect, absolutely healthy bodies. Deeply aware of the cruel purge sentence that corporate bosses imposed on her solely because of her exhausted physical state, Teri Garr later uttered bitter words. "They view illness as a crime." Stripped of her career, isolated by the elite, the tragedy of Teri Garr did not stop there. Death seemed to have lost patience and decided to come for her through a horrifying incident, plunging her into a deep sleep that seemed as though she would never wake up from. Survival on the brink of death. The late 2005 period witnessed a major effort by Teri Garr to reshape her life through the memoir Speed Bumps. The work fully exposed the bitter, hidden corners behind the once brilliant stage glamour of America's leading actress. The book quickly became a major literary phenomenon by conveying a message of resilience rising above adversity. Experts highly appreciated the superstar's candor in courageously confronting dangerous multiple sclerosis. But in the midst of struggling to adapt to her illness and staying busy promoting her new work, another catastrophic disaster struck. On a fateful day in December 2006, a horrifying stroke suddenly occurred right at her private home. Medical records noted that blood pressure caused the actress's brain aneurysm to suddenly rupture violently. This devastating event caused Teri Garr herself to immediately collapse onto the floor, falling into a state of complete unconsciousness. The superstar was discovered in time by her adopted daughter Molly O'Neill, lying unconscious on the cold floor. Emergency rescue forces were immediately deployed to the scene to perform specialized resuscitation measures. The actress was quickly transferred to the special emergency room in critical condition, initiating a terrifying week of death. She fell into a prolonged, deep coma, completely severing all lines of communication with the world. The hospital's treating medical board at that time gave extremely dark prognoses regarding her chances of survival. Leading neurosurgeons asserted that the rate of overcoming this critical condition was extremely low. In spite of the highly pessimistic medical predictions, a miraculous miracle occurred when Teri Garr officially woke up after a 7-day coma. But this miraculous revival was accompanied by an extremely cruel reality. Severe brain damage from hemorrhage completely stripped away the superstar's language ability, turning her into a mute person. Simultaneously, lower hemiplegia rendered the legs that once danced gracefully completely immobile. Reportage press at that time recorded that the subsequent rehabilitation journey was a long chain of days enduring ultimate pain. The actress was forced to undergo extremely harsh exercises for the purpose of brain restructuring. She had to relearn the most basic skills, from how to pronounce each letter to controlling her tiny fingers. Every single step on the walker was soaked with the sweat and tears of desperate perseverance. Speaking about the painful training period to wrestle back control of her body, Teri Garr later directly shared with the media, "It was a daily life and death battle to force my brain to listen to me." That perseverance. After years of resilient recovery, the superstar created a huge surprise when she decided to reappear on David Letterman's show. This highly fragile comeback was a powerful testament, showing that she had not completely collapsed. Facing her longtime co-host on live broadcast, the once proud superstar directly made a bitter affirmation. "I came back here to prove that I am not dead, even though Hollywood buried me a long time ago." The prolonged resilient battle finally reached its maximum limit when her physical body completely fell into an exhausted state. In 2011, Teri Garr officially made a permanent retirement announcement, saying a complete farewell to the entertainment industry. Teri Garr's highly tragic but extremely resilient journey is a profound warning about the price of fame behind the Hollywood glamour. Although ruthlessly discarded by the entertainment industry, her will remains an immortal symbol forever. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below about the hidden corners of this superstar's life. Do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you do not miss our next in-depth investigative reports.